I've got a lot of zip disks at home,
Mm.
but I don't have a zip drive. It's 100K zip disk, a box of them. But I'm wondering if anybody could help me to get those unloaded to a flash drive.
Okay, Harold, do we have a zip drive in the office? Do you know? Okay, she isn't here right now, is she? We may be able to answer that question later tonight. I believe I did see one at some time. That could have been 6 months ago. So whether it's still around the office or not, who knows? We often have different kinds of equipment that is kind of legacy stuff, and that if you don't have a specific need for it, it kind of sits on the shelf for a while. So if you don't hear an answer about that tonight, call into the office tomorrow and at least leave a message for Lydia to answer that question. Okay, very good. Anyone else? And you can hand that back to Nanette.
Thank you.
Thank you. I don't have any place to lean back tonight. I'm going to be sitting on somebody's TV or monitor if I do. Okay, anyone else with a question? This is kind of an open forum where you can ask anything on all kinds of technology subjects. We not only talk about Windows PCs, but we also talk about, like we said earlier, we're cutting the cord tonight. We're talking about TVs. We're talking about streaming services. We're talking about, we can talk about phones, both Android and iOS. iOS is Apple's, the iPhone, iPad, all those kinds of things. If we want to talk about the other side of Apple, which is the iMac and so forth, Rose is familiar with some of that and she can help, but that's not really our forte. We really delve in the, in the Windows environment and in the mobile devices. Yes, Donna.
I heard a few weeks ago that Apple was coming out with a large update in the autumn. And I thought it was around the time 14 was coming out. Is 14 out now?
I do not know because I don't follow Apple. I got out of the Apple ecosystem many years ago. I don't like having to be boxed into just their way of doing things, and I can't get out of that box. I like to be able to have some control over my environment. So I'm not the right person to ask about what version it is. I've worked with a number of different versions, helping people with how to get in or out or how to resolve issues, but I don't follow them, so I don't know. But the question you asked about an update, I also heard there was a huge update, and I have heard there's a lot of pushback on it also. So I don't know what the status is, but right now it's kind of out there with the beta testers, those people who are the techies that want to get their hands on things absolutely first and try it out before the rest of the world does. And right now there's, it's kind of an iffy thing. It's not really a good good feedback. So we'll just have to wait in a few more months before it's actually sent out to the world. It'll probably be just fine. But at this point, it's just like anything that's brand new. When you're testing things out and you're trying new things, things don't always go the way you want. So by the time it hits the marketplace, it'll probably be, stable and fine. But right now it's kind of shaky. Yes.
I'm getting my exercise tonight.
I would suggest anybody with an Apple product of any sort, keep an eye out on the apple.com/support. That will give you some updates on what's coming up. I'm not sure. I've heard that rumor as well, that they're going to be updating, and a rather large one, and including making it easier to bring in the Microsoft 365 and kind of starting to meld together some of the programs.
That would be a
Um,
plus.
So who knows? I'm skeptical about all of that in starting to melt stuff together. But I suggest going to the official website and keep an eye out there.
There's another computer club that's kind of in our region. Well, it is in our region. It's called STUGS, Sarasota User Technology Group or something. And they have a lot of Apple clients in their, or members in their organization. So going to their website might help. And it's STUG is the name of the club. Also the person who is, well, one of the key people in that organization is Huey Poplock, who is an instructor, also critical instructor with the Tech for Senior that some of us watch on Mondays. I wasn't there yesterday, but usually I try to tune in to their show on Mondays. They have we've had a number of presentations done by their group that we've done through videos here. Last month's was on what was last month's? Was hearing aids, yes, on hearing aids. And that was done by another one of their instructors. So we've gotten a couple of things from them. So that's another place to look. And it's called Tech for Senior, singular, not plural, not for seniors, but for senior. .com, and you can find them on YouTube. And you can also go out and join their group and participate in their Monday shows, and they have a Thursday. That's kind of a catch-all, and I'm not too interested in their Thursday show, but their Monday one is pretty good. Okay, anyone else have a question or comments or anything you want to share with the group? Yes.
Hey, I'm getting my exercise.
She's getting her exercise. She's
Got
Yeah, can you tell me what people are using to get rid of robocalls? There's an app I just saw advertised, and I don't want to use it until I get some advice, called Robo Killer. Has anybody heard of it? Know if it's good or bad?
Is there anyone who has used RoboKiller or any other killing device that gets rid of those nuisance robocalls? I personally have not. And it doesn't look like anyone is offering any suggestions here. So I don't know. I don't have any advice for you there. Yes, Donna, hold on.
I've had something on my phone for a couple of years called Truecaller. And it will give me a little banner that says possible spam.
Right.
So I don't answer those. That it's working fine for me. I've had it for a couple of years.
I used to use that one, Truecaller, and I found that now it was on a different phone. It was on an earlier phone, so it might have been stressing its capacity and so forth. But I found that it delayed my calls, and so I took it off. So a lot of things that, you know, they'll scout for you. They'll go out and look for problems on your phone. But remember, they have to process too, so they can delay things. I do have the service through, I guess it's through Verizon, that screens my calls. And I have a whole bunch of them that keep coming up as potential spam or potential, it's got this ugly face that says, don't open me because I'm going to grab your phone and do nasty stuff to it. So I've just used the carriers.
Yeah, that's what I was going to
Check
suggest.
now.
Like I have T-Mobile, and it has a spam blocker. And also, so it looks for spam calls coming in and automatically blocks them. So you might just check with whatever carrier you have. It actually might be part of their feature set.
Mine? Okay. Dennis, oh, wait a minute. The microphones, these microphones are controlled by the, by upstairs, is that right? The walk around mics? Is everything coming through our board or is that coming through the central board up there? Everything coming through here? Okay. She's saying that we need to increase the volume just a little bit, and I don't want to grab. Harold, do you know what, I don't know which button to push, so I don't want to mess anything up. I turned mine down a little earlier because it seemed like it was reverberating off of the walls and would hurt someone's ears. So I did turn mine down, and I turned the other down too because it was pretty loud. So yeah, we'll get that up. Why don't you tell us when the sound is good for you? It's good? Okay. Okay. Yeah, I was afraid that it was going to get too loud for people with hearing aids because sometimes it interferes. Okay, next question, next comment. Oh, we have to have somebody who wants to, yes.
Hang on.
Okay. Ask
Everyone-
again.
Everyone may not have heard.
Oh, when do you use Dropbox and how do you?
Talk
use it?
talk
How do
into.
you use it?
Okay, when do you use Dropbox and how do you use it? Dropbox is a way of sharing files or storing files for yourself and sharing them to another computer within your own realm. But it has what, 200 megabytes or something. It doesn't share really large files. It shares some, fairly good size, but not anything super large. The same thing can be said of OneDrive and Google Drive. Those are all sharing opportunities for you to share into the cloud. What happens if you copy a file that you want to share with someone else into that service, Dropbox, Microsoft OneDrive, or Google Drive, and you send someone a link to that file from that service? Then they can come in and they can pull that down onto their computer or just view it. And you can set the parameters too, as to whether you want them to have, be able to download it and have full access to it and update it and so forth. Or if you only want them to be able to view it and it's going to disappear in 24 hours or in some time. And I haven't used Dropbox in, I don't know, maybe 15 years. So I'm not familiar with their service today, and at the time that I was using it, we didn't have the kinds of controls that we do today, but I'm assuming that they have kept up with the competing products. Now, Dropbox is free up to a certain level, and then beyond that, it costs some money. Same thing with OneDrive and Google Drive. So as long as you stay within their parameters, everything's for free. As soon as you step outside of those parameters or want a different function that isn't available in the free version, then you end up having to pay. Does that answer your question? Okay. Okay, do we have another question? Yes.
Zoom. I'm still wrestling with Zoom. I think I downloaded it correctly now. but
Okay.
I'm not sure. So,
Okay.
I
Do you have a
downloaded it
do you have a
from
laptop or a desktop?
laptop.
Okay, bring your laptop into the office and we'll set you up and we'll do a private Zoom call right there in the office and
Excellent.
we'll test it out.
Thank you.
And we can also show you how to set up your backgrounds, how to set the volumes for your speaker and microphone, how to, change your username, how to set up your camera, because there are a few settings on the camera, whether you want it to be a wide angle or a narrow angle, whether you want it to be in HD mode or not, if you have a green screen or not. So there are all kinds of different functions, and we can help you set that up. And we can do, if you do it in the office, then we can set up multiple PCs and set up a Zoom call where our big TV is the primary, and a couple of others of us are just satellites.
Excellent.
Okay.
Thank you. I know it's useful. I just have not been able to.
It is useful, and we for our classes that we have them both in the office and we have them on Zoom. Some classes are only on Zoom and some classes are only in the office, but most of them are available in either one of those environments, depending upon what your needs are. Especially with all the people that we have that are out of town right now, because they like going up to the cold country, and they think it's cooler up there in the summer, but it really isn't. If it's anything like where I came from, here it is 5 to 10 degrees cooler in the summertime and 50 degrees warmer in the wintertime. And I think that's a beautiful thing. So they can stay up north. Okay. Next question. Okay. Well, we've got another 40 minutes, guys. So let's have somebody ask some questions.
Huh?
Okay, she asked if she was the only one who doesn't know what to do with Zoom. No, I'm sure that there are other people in this audience, and certainly those that aren't in this audience that have never used Zoom. If you want to set up a special class just to learn how to use Zoom, we can do that. I do a class on Thursdays in the office, and I include it on Zoom, and we could use that as a topic if you wanted to for next Tuesday's class. The classes that I do are the second Tuesday of each month from 2 to 4 in the office and on Zoom. Mark has had several classes, and yours aren't on a specific date though, are they? Third Wednesday of the month. Okay. And Rose does. This month.
Okay, I do themed classes, I guess is what I would call it. This month, the next 3 Mondays, I am doing classes regarding Office apps. So this next Monday is Microsoft 365. The following Monday is LibreOffice. The Monday after that are all of the Office apps connected with Apple. So I'm always looking for different themes to teach. So I could throw a Zoom one
Zoom
in
would be
October,
that would be a great-
October. And anything else that you might want to throw out there as a suggestion. I teach Mondays. I've switched to Mondays now.
Okay. And Rose does a wonderful job. Okay. Anybody else? Yes. Wait.
In one of Rose's classes, we did Google Photos.
Yes.
So we have Gmail address, and we're the ones that have the Mac and the
Mhm.
AOL accounts.
Yeah.
So I have pictures in AOL
Uh-huh.
that I want to get into the Gmail account under Google Photos. Do I have to individually
No.
No.
You want to answer this question for her, Rose? Hold on a second. No, you do not have to do it individually.
Okay, Sandy, what you need on your phone is which is why I had you download the Google app. Okay, so once you have the Google app on your phone, your Apple phone, and go to settings and make sure that you have all of that you're willing to share it. Then you don't have to shift anything. It should automatically go there once you take a picture on your phone. All of the pictures I take tonight automatically go to Google, and I go home and I edit through Google because my phone is too small for me to to see all of that. So as long as you have that app on there, and at the class I had you download that app. Anytime you take a picture, it should automatically go there.
Computer?
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. And we had also talked about that when you're on Google Photos, in the upper right-hand corner, it says upload. You must have your phone plugged into your computer. Okay. Or
Not-
yeah, you gotta have it connected.
No, not necessarily. Not if you are doing it from, if you're doing it from AOL on your computer.
Not AOL.
No, she said AOL.
Oh, okay.
From AOL, you can do a copy to the Google Drive from there by setting up, oh, shoot. I did this a few weeks ago with someone. And we tied the AOL account to the Gmail account. And then we did a transfer of all of those emails over to Gmail. And from there, it will automatically save it to the Google Drive. Okay, we may have to do some more
Yeah.
investigation, but I was able to do it with another member.
It's the photos are on your AOL or the photos are on your Apple phone. No, that's
not the
coming
same.
from a different place.
We have another, wait a minute, let's see if
Mhm.
I can get another microphone here. Oh, that one's wired.
Okay.
Okay.
What I recommend,
Why don't we repeat what you said
Yeah.
first so everybody hears it?
Okay.
Please.
what Sandy is saying, she has the photos on her AOL account. They're saved there. Okay, a thought, where did they originally come from? Because you didn't take them with the AOL. Where did you take the pictures from? Oh. Okay. She said some are from the phone, some are from Facebook, some are from pictures that people have sent her. That's another that gets a little involved. What you're doing, your best is to open it on your phone and do a screenshot of the pictures. But if you have a lot of them, because any screenshot will automatically go to Google Photos if you have the app. But if you have a lot of pictures saved, I would recommend copying them to another hard drive and do the upload from Google Photos.
And I'm going to, I think what I'm hearing is that you have pulled these photos from different sources, from the internet, from emails, from your phone, and they reside someplace on your computer.
Mhm.
If you find the source on your computer, you can upload those directly to the Google Drive and set it up so that anytime it sees a new photo, anything with JPEG or PNG or whatever extension, it automatically saves it to the Google Drive.
And sometimes if you're saving and you're saving on your computer, it will look for a folder that's called camera roll. A lot of times that's where it throws it into. And then you can do a bundle of, you know, I've done 1,000 of uploads out of my camera roll because they're all in there. It sounds like it's what you first need to find out is where did it save all these things and then move them up. And that could be, we could set up a one-on-one. We could.
She's
Okay,
already signed up.
she just confirmed an appointment we already have. Okay, all right, I will see you Monday.
Okay, next question.
I have a question if anybody knows for sure, and this might be a Harold question. I usually in the fall, Microsoft has a major update. Are we looking at one? Yes. Do you know about when? Okay, so somewhere in October, Microsoft's going to have another major update.
Just recently using Microsoft 365 for my emails, it no longer lets me block unwanted emails.
Really? Does anyone, okay, Grover has his hand up. Do you know? Waving, okay, okay. It looked like he was answering the question. Okay, does anyone have any response on that? Okay, the question was, or the comment was that recently his
I may-
email no longer allows him to block.
I may be able to add on.
Okay.
On my email, up at the top, there's 3 little dots there.
Yes,
So you hit the 3 little dots and it'll sometimes it gives you the option that you can block it. So sometimes I get these strange emails and I don't want them because.
yeah, and
They-
depending upon the email client, that could be, it could be like a tab at the top, it could be an icon, it could be any number of places, but yeah, try the little hamburger menu or the 3-dot menu
Yeah.
and see if you have an option there.
See whether or not, what I do is I do that and then I look to see where did that come from.
Mhm.
And if it tells me about getting harder or erotica, I could block them all.
Right, and you can always, mark it as spam, but sometimes marking as spam doesn't really, it doesn't block it for the future. But yeah, that's a very good point. Thank you. So this is something that's recent. What email client are you using? Your email client. Is it Yahoo? Is it AOL? Is it Gmail, Hotmail?
I've just used Microsoft 365.
Well,
Hotmail.
that could be, but that has nothing to do with the, yeah, it might be
Oh,
Outlook. It's
oh.
Outlook? Okay. Yeah, I use Yahoo also.
Yeah,
I haven't used, okay, when I was working, I used Outlook every day. In the last 20 years, I have not used Outlook. So I'm not the right person to ask about Outlook.
thank you.
Okay. Next question. Yes.
Hang on a second.
In the last month or so, I've gotten two different emails that say they're coming from Amazon and talking about some kind of security problem. And click on the blue. But when I-
Don't do that.
Right, I didn't, but I just want to make sure everybody's aware that that's coming. And if you look at it real closely, they don't spell everything very well. So just keep your eye out. For
I have gotten for the last, I don't know, 6 months or so, I've gotten all kinds of emails that say they're from Amazon, and one of them says, we're locking out your account because of suspicious activity, or we're changing something. We're going to send this to somebody else because you haven't responded to us. And I immediately, I get out of that. I go to my Amazon app on my phone, and I go into the account area, and under that, there's notifications. And I look for that message in their notifications. If I don't see it, I go back and I get in a chat session with Amazon, and I say, I have gotten this message from someone who pretending to be you to say that they're locking my account out, and they will follow up. You can also send that message or make a copy of that message, go to Punta Gorda Police Department or the Sheriff's Office and report it to them. Sometimes they will respond and sometimes they will not. It depends on the kinds of things they're working on at the time, if they have the time, if they have the resources, if they have the expertise in hand. But I have had very good success with Amazon in providing them feedback, and they will go out and find the bad guys. My husband has been in the last week or two, keeps getting a big flashing screen with about 4 different levels of messages on it saying, don't shut off your computer, don't do this, don't get out of this, don't click on anything. I'm taking over your computer. He's clicking on a recipe in Facebook, and it's taking him to a porn site. So I have had to go in several times to get this off of his computer, and I have been successful. But what I noticed the first 2 times I did it, as soon as we brought Firefox back up, that was the first thing that blew up. It went immediately to that site. So I had to do a couple more creative things and make sure that I actually, instead of just running the anti-spyware programs and cleaning everything up, I actually went out and restarted the computer to clear all of its registers, to clear all the cache and everything, so it did not come back up. So pay attention. If you get some, I'm very cautious about doing anything on Facebook. My husband lives on it, and he loves to look at recipes. Well, he likes the other stuff too, which I don't like, but anyway, he's getting there from another back door, but he has stopped it. I mean, he has called me immediately and said, come here and fix this before I throw it out the window or something. But anyway, just be aware that there are some, some nasty guys out there trying to take us down, and they're not necessarily going to steal our information because we may not have anything worth stealing, but they just want to frustrate us, and they want to get our money. They want us to click on something that says, I'm going to pay you to get me out of this. Well, you don't want to pay to get out of it. So just don't let them have control. If you ever have that situation and you're kind of scared of what's going to happen next, get away from the computer, call us in the office, set up an appointment, bring your computer in, and we'll work through it and try to get it off for you. Okay? Nanette? Oh, I'm sorry. You have a question also.
That's okay.
I'm sorry.
That's all right. I rarely get any spam on my iPhone.
Good for you.
Yeah. But what I do see and I do get is long distance numbers that come up,
Yeah.
and I
Well,
don't
everybody's
answer.
a long distance number now.
Yeah, and I don't answer it because I
Uh-huh.
don't recognize it. And there will be a voicemail left
Mhm.
in a foreign language,
Ah,
basically an Asian descent kind of person just jabbering away. And I block the caller
mm-hmm.
and another number will come up.
You know, what happens is that they buy blocks of numbers. You may get something that, you know, like 5,200 is are the last four digits. The next one's 5,201 and
Yeah, I've seen that
5,205.
occasionally. Yeah.
Okay, so they're just rotating those numbers. There are some ways of doing, you can take that number and put it in your browser. Do a Google search on the number, and you can report that number as spam or potential spam or an unwanted call. And
Who would I
it's-
report that to?
well, just bring up your browser.
Right.
Like I use Firefox mostly, but I use
Oh, okay.
Chrome and Edge and
Right.
stuff too. But just enter that telephone number in there. It'll give you a number of different sources, and it'll tell you where it's located. It'll tell you whether it's a real business or it's a person, or if it's in some other country. And if it's a foreign language, then it may be coming through another country, but it may be using a VPN that says they're actually here in the United States. And of course, if you try to get customer service with anyone, you're going to get someone from India anyway, right? Even though they say they're in Tennessee, right? I don't think that's the accent from Tennessee.
So basically that just blocking the caller is good.
That's the way I would approach that. Anybody have any other suggestions that might do a better job?
Thank you.
Okay. Now we had two other people had their hand up down. Nanette,
Yeah.
down here? No, it doesn't come through on the Zoom for the people that are on Zoom. Even though it projects here in the auditorium, it doesn't project to them.
Have your hand up?
So, and I don't know how loud I'm on this because I'm not used to this.
Just talk right into it and you'll be fine.
Okay. With that scenario of the computer, I had a similar, it was a Saturday, and of all things, it was my birthday.
Happy birthday.
I was on that computer for an hour and a half with, it wasn't even, it was a loud noise and you couldn't get rid of it. And that same message, do not turn off the computer. This is I've never, ever had any experience with anything like that. And I basically panicked
Yeah.
myself, and I'm thinking of what to do. So I felt I shouldn't call the number, but I didn't know what else to do. So I did. I mean, we were on the phone an hour and a half.
And did you give him any information?
Nothing that they could use. I mean, asked what credit cards I had. All they had was the name of the company, which I shouldn't have even done that. However, they have no numbers. And after an hour and a half, they went through saying you're not secure. The was it IP?
The IP address, yeah.
Yeah. That's open, and and the very bottom, they go through scrolling and showing that, again, a child pornography site was claiming using that, and also a Russian gambling site.
Mm-hmm.
And they were going to clear that out, but they kept pushing they were going to connect me. And I kept saying, I'm not sure if you're legit. And then he asked, they're going to switch to the credit card company. And then they get off the phone, like, sure. And so we kept asking, do you have debit card? And I said, I don't think a debit card is safe. I do not have a debit card.
Right.
And so after an hour and a half, and I had phone numbers that could work. You could call back. I said, I'm going to call the credit card companies myself because they'll know, I'm calling from my home.
Well, I was on the phone with a similar situation a few years ago. I had been using an antivirus program called Avast.
Oh, yeah.
And it's a reputable company, but this particular, it kept coming up that it wanted to update, it wanted to update, it wanted to update. I kept getting out of it. And then for some reason, I may have been trying to click someplace else in the, on a different window. And it automatically, and it clicked on that one and all the it got all these terrible things. And it,
Yep.
it started making all kinds of sounds and told me it was taking over the computer and to call this number. Well, I called the number and they, it said it was Microsoft. And I said, so I said, are you from Microsoft? I'm a Microsoft, something expert, certified expert. I said, no, that wasn't my question. I said, are you from Microsoft? Well, no, I'm a Microsoft. I said, I don't want to talk to you. And I said, tell you what, I'm taking my computer down to the police station now and I'll have them talk to you. Click, it was off. So yeah, threaten them, tell them that you're going to go to the police office, to the police department or the sheriff's office, and they'll pay attention, they'll click off. And now when I was on my husband's computer, and all these things were flashing, the taskbar wasn't there. And what I would normally do, I would go to the taskbar and right click and get the task manager and close everything down from there. I couldn't get to it. So the way we used to get to it and the way I still get to it, if I don't have that taskbar available, I do a Control, Alt, and Delete. And I think you can also do Control, Alt, Escape now, which is a much safer thing to do. I don't know why they ever did Control, Alt, Delete, but that's what they did. But do that, you can get to the task manager, you can close any of those things that you don't want open, you can exit out of them immediately. Except I will say that today I was working on a member's computer and it wouldn't let me into Edge. It would flash and it wouldn't let me into Edge. It wouldn't let me into the Microsoft Store. It wouldn't let me into a number of different programs. And when I went to the task manager and looked for those icons I just clicked to open them up, they weren't there. And I ran the troubleshooter and the troubleshooter said, yeah, I found some problems, but I can't fix them. So Harold, you have something for the overnight. It's in your drawer for tomorrow. I couldn't fix it, so I left it for Harold.
And while I have the mic, what is the difference between using the Chrome, Microsoft Chrome, or Edge?
It's just a different browser. They each have their good points and their bad points. Both of them now support extensions, which is a way of making the browser more powerful and able to do things that you want it to do in the way you want to operate. In any of those cases, you can select which search engine you want to use. If you're on Edge, it wants to use Bing. If you're on Google Chrome, it wants to use Google.
Okay.
But on any of those, you can still use, you can do a Google search, or you can do a search on Bing, or you can do a search on Yahoo, or any of those by selecting in that little search bar at the bottom. There's a little down arrow at the bottom. It has a little icon saying, that's the application it's using for its search. You can click on that, do a right mouse click on that, and it'll give you a drop down, and you can select any other search engine you want to use. But it's from a different manufacturer. They have different ways of incorporating their extensions or add-ons, and and some of them work really well. When I primarily use Mozilla Firefox, I like it because it has a particular extension that I have been using for the last 25 years, and I don't like being without it because I tend to have a lot of different tabs open. So once you get about 5 or 6 at the top, you can't read them anymore. Well, if you have 100 open, that's not going to help you. But if you have a directory tree up the side that you can scroll through, then you can find the one that you want. And the reason why I have all those open is because I may be doing research on a particular thing, and I want to have several different things available to me at the same time. Otherwise, yeah, it's kind of senseless. But every once in a while, I'll go through and I'll start closing some of them out when I finish a project I'm working on. Okay, next question. Donna, you had a question, didn't you?
I was just going back to the Amazon emails. I was just going to share a story that I received an email that said, did you just purchase a $50 gift certificate from Amazon? I went to my Amazon account. Someone had gotten my credit card number, my MasterCard number, and made that $50 purchase.
Wow.
So
Could you trace that to where it was delivered? Well, no, it's a card. It could be used any place, but then they would be purchasing something to be delivered to a physical address, right?
well, I didn't get into it that deep, Mary.
Why don't you go into your notifications, go into a chat session, or send them a feedback that says, I did not authorize this $50 card. Now, they also give you a $50 card or whatever the balance might be if you return things. They don't automatically give you the money back now. They don't go back against your credit card. They give you a voucher that says you have this much credit available for whatever you next purchase. So check to see if you did something like that.
Oh, actually, it wasn't a problem. Amazon took it off my account right
Okay.
away.
Good.
Of course, I canceled that credit card and had to get a new one
Mm-hmm.
and change the password.
Mm-hmm.
So that all worked out. So I guess my point is, well, sometimes you don't know about those
Mm-hmm.
emails you're getting from Amazon.
And I'm getting a lot in the last few weeks from PayPal. Says your PayPal account is you need to update your profile on your PayPal. I don't have a PayPal account, so sorry guys. You got you're out of luck there. I've gotten I've gotten Home Depot, Costco. I've gotten all these different things, and they've just popped up in the last 2 weeks. And it's something that I must have triggered at some place, but I don't know how I triggered it. Yes.
Regarding scams, over the last few weeks, I've noticed something. I'll get an email and it'll just say, you made a purchase, here's your invoice, and it'll be attached. Of course, do not open that.
Don't open that.
I mean, that can really get to people very easily. Well, what's this thing that I purchased? I'll just open the invoice. Don't do that.
I've received that too.
Okay.
So yes.
Yeah. Now I do have a question. Or something to talk about screen print.
Mhm.
Rose mentioned the word earlier and it registered. Gee, I don't know much about it. Can you describe
Sure.
screen print?
Okay. Well, now she was doing a screenshot with her phone. Okay, so if I'm going to do a screenshot on my phone, let me just bring up. Let's see. Well, let's go into let's go into the browser and let's look for something. Beach. Okay. So I just pulled up something and I said, I wanted to look for an image of a beach clip art. So I've got this image here. If I want to screenshot that, the way I do it on my phone is I just wave my hand and it takes a shot of it and it stores it in my gallery or in my photos or in my Google Drive or wherever. But it puts them on my phone and I can then go into my, let's see, my gallery, and the first photo there is that screenshot I just took. Now, if you want to do one on your computer, if you want to take a screenshot from your computer, it's called print screen, and you have a key on your keyboard that says print screen. Can I share can you make me a co-host so I can share? Okay. Screen share. Okay. I will do that. And I'm going to close out of that and close out of this and minimize this. Okay. What am I going to do? What was I going to do? I was going to print screen. Okay. Let's see what I have here. Oh, okay. I got this PDF from someone today. And if I wanted to screenshot this, and maybe all I want is that photograph, I hit the print screen button and I can, this one that's over here in the blue, if I hit that, it will let me take a portion, or I don't even have to hit it. It's already set for that. I can swipe that area and it's going to take that as a screenshot. I can now go into, let's open up a new Word file and I can paste it in there. There it is. Okay. So if I wanted to, say I wanted to take I wanted to grab the whole screen. Then when I hit print screen, I would click on this and it would take the entire screen. And if I then go back into that same Word document, and now it gives me the entire screen that I had. Let's try one of the other functions. Let's move this kind of, whoops, over here so I can get to it quickly. And maybe all I want is a portion of this picture. So maybe I just want to look at this so I can get a lasso tool and I can say, I just want that. And now I go over here and I can paste that in. Now, once that I have that in, I can resize it to anything I want. Okay. So does that answer your question? Now that's what we've looked at as a snippet tool. It's gone under for a number of different names. In different operating systems, it works a little differently. I'm on Windows 10. I haven't used 11. I don't know if it's changed for that. I'm on 22 H1, which is the update for the first half of the year. The second half of the year, I think, is coming up. 22 H2 should be out in October. It's up now. Okay. So if I wanted to, and we talked about some of the, let's see. We talked about some of the extensions that you have in different browsers. Let me go back into my browser. 3 minutes. Okay. Not too many minutes. Okay. If I wanted to, I've got an article here someplace. Okay. If I wanted to take this article, whoops, come on. If I wanted this article, I could go up to here. I don't want to subscribe to your newsletter. And I can go up to this icon up here just past my address bar. And this is an extension called Print Friendly. If I click on Print Friendly, it is going to convert that to a PDF, or it converts it. I can click on PDF, it'll create a PDF. I can click on print, it'll find the printer. I could save the whole thing as an image if I wanted to, but typically I would do print or PDF. And in my case, I have a PDF printer already set up on my computer. So I would say print and just select that PDF printer, and it would automatically open in. I would automatically open in my Acrobat Reader. Okay. Well, we're 2 minutes before the deadline to, oh, wait a minute. It's 2 minutes before we're supposed to start the next one. Why don't we take a 5-minute break and we'll come back just a little bit after 7 o'clock. Thank you very much, and we'll pause. Thank you. Yeah, stop my share.